Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the long-awaited, the prestigious Teletubbies House. I'm so glad that so many of you guys actually recommended that I make this, because I would have never thought to actually make this myself. I'm so glad that I did, because I actually remember watching this whilst I was growing up when I was a kid, which was absolutely ages ago, and it brought up a lot of fun memories actually making it. It was a really fun build to design and make. Here it is from all of the different angles that you might want to view it from, including some of the points of interest of the build. Here we have each one of the 4 Teletubbies stood outside. Say hello. We also have the speaker box, which we use to communicate with them, and all the way in the background you can see the big giant windmill that kind of looks like a pinwheel that is present in the show as well. And I don't know what else to tell you. This is a really fun build. It's quite easy, and it definitely make a mark in your world. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please do remember to smack that like button. It'd really help me out. It honestly would. Honestly, what it does the most is it just makes me a little bit happier, is what happens when you smack that like button. And would it be possible to hit 1,000 likes? I don't know. Would it be possible to hit 1k likes? You guys will have to find out. I can't make it happen, but you guys could. If you want to see any other cartoon-related builds in the future, please do let me know in the comments. That's the only way things like this get built. Otherwise, like I said, I would have never thought of this, so do leave a comment. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Let me show you how to make this thing. Tubby bye-bye. And Tubby hello. If you want to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some lime terracotta, some green terracotta, cyan terracotta, light grey wool, blue stained glass block, sea lanterns, yellow wool. We'll need iron doors and some buttons. Everything else, honestly, is pretty much just to decorate the outside, but you might find that you want that as well. It depends what you do with the place. Pause the video if you have to. Grab absolutely everything that you see there, and once you have it all, we can begin. So I can tell you that the Teletubby house itself will fit into a 25 block coming across the front by a 26 block going towards the back area. This only includes the actual grass dome. It doesn't include the pathway around it or the pinwheel. If I included that, then the area would be a lot bigger. I wanted to confine a bit more, but you don't need that much more space. So if you like, you can build this very same almost square shape in your world and begin on the very front bottom left-hand corner. From this corner, you want to count in to the right and find the 9th block in. Yeah, that's right, the 9th block in. So that'd be the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. This is where we'll begin. Start off by placing 3 lime terracotta. 1, 2, 3 coming up from the ground. Then place 3 upright diagonals. 1, 2, 3. Go right by 2. 1, 2. Do 3 bottom right diagonals. 1, 2, 3. Connect down to the ground. We then want to, looking down at the ground like this, from the actual lime terracotta that hit the ground, we want to do an upright diagonal. Go right by 1. Then do 5 upright diagonals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to go up by 2. 1, 2. Do an upright diagonal. Up by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We then want to do an up left diagonal. Up by 2. 1, 2. We then want to do 4 upper left diagonals. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to go left 2. 1, 2. Do an up left diagonal. Go left by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We then want to do a bottom left diagonal. Left by 2. 1, 2. Do 4 bottom left diagonals. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go down by 2. 1, 2. Do a bottom left diagonal. Down by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do a bottom right diagonal. Down by 2. 1, 2. Then do 5 bottom right diagonals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then go right to connect all the way back to where you very first started. So this is what you're sort of looking for. You're looking for this. I mean, it's pretty much a circle. Pretty much. It's quite close. That's what we're after. Well, once you have this circular shape, this is what we're going to do next. So we're going to take, and this is a bit tricky. So, right, left of the entrance here, yeah? You can see that we have this block. This row of 2. On top of this right-hand block, we want to place a lime terracotta. Then behind that block, we will want to go behind it by 1, and then left 1. And then what we want to do is we actually want to create a shape, a circle, that is smaller than the circle that we've made, and it sits 1 row higher and 1 row inwards in relation to the previous circle. So I know that might be a little bit difficult to understand, but if you take a look at it like this, as I've been building it, it's quite easy. We're just shrinking the shape that we've made, and we have to do this quite a few times throughout the build. As a matter of fact, this is how we are going to make the shape of the Teletubbies house. We have to do this quite a few times until we eventually reach the roof, in which the roof is a little bit flatter. So we're going to do this quite a few times. Like I said, I keep repeating myself like a parrot because there's not too much to tell you, and I can't really cut this bit out because it's quite necessary. So we're just going to follow the shape going all the way around, round and round and round and round it goes, and we will eventually, there we go, we will eventually be able to move on to something a bit more interesting. But this is the second row of the Teletubby house. As you can see, simply 1 row higher and 1 row inward than the previous layer. Now, for the next layer, because we are still building up the shape, we now want to start with the blocks just behind the entrance. We actually want to take this block on the left of the entrance, this third lime terracotta, and we want to extend this back, and we want to sit inside, you guys get it, you want to sit inside of the shape that you have, and you don't want it to connect at the corners. Only that front bit has to connect. You guys will see that as the build goes on, but just to show you, like, just to demonstrate, like, the front bit connects, like the L shape, if it, yeah, that looks more like an L shape. That bit connects, the rest of it doesn't on the corners. However, at a certain point, it will, once we get high enough in the actual dome. You guys get the idea. It's going to be a lot of this. It's probably going to be, I don't know, like 3 or 4 more times actually doing this. It's not the most fun part of the Tubby house, but this will establish the shape, and it is 100% necessary if we do actually want to get this thing done. So we're just going to crack on with this. We have got a few more rows of it to do, but what can you do? So we'll connect to the opposite side in the same way that we started on the first side, like this. Now, let's do the same thing again. So this time, starting from this diagonal, just behind the entrance, we're going to extend this across like this in an L shape, and then we will build up the rest of the shape of the Teletubby house, and we'll just do the same thing on the opposite side as well. We'll, like, extend this outwards like this, just to kind of show you, like, it's just these 2 front bits, like the tunnel. That's why it's shaped that way, because we want to have, like, a very nice, clean tunnel shape. That's why we're trying to maintain the shape of the tunnel there. That's why we're not cutting any corners. And, well, the rest of it, as I've said a few times, it is just getting gradually smaller, and it does not connect at the corners. That's the cool thing about this build, actually. Like, at the start, it's kind of big, it's kind of massive, but it does get gradually easier as you do go around the shape, because of course it is shrinking a little bit every time. So you can see that we've done that 1 more time, right? Well, let's do it again. So once again, we take the 2 corner blocks of the entrance, we extend them backwards and around like this, and we'll take the opposite side as well. We'll take this, make a big L shape like this. We've got 2 L's. And then we will simply do what we've been doing all along anyway. We will just gradually shrink the shape. And after this bit, actually, funnily enough, after this bit, we are going to start... actually, I think it's... I almost put... After this next bit, we start changing things a little bit, and it does get ever so slightly easier. So we're just going to, as I say, we're going to continue on with this. I really am just rambling for words, because there really isn't too much to explain other than kind of like do this. But yeah, that's what we want to have so far. Now, for the next bit, ladies and gents, we are going to, once again, we're going to take... Actually, it is a bit different, because we have these 3 blocks at the top of the entrance. We want to extend these backwards, right? So we want to extend these backwards until they are in line with, like, the circle shape of the dome. And then we kind of want to continue what we've been doing all along. We want to extend it 1 row back, extend it out left and right like this. And then we just want to have the shape that you guys know that we have to make. We just have to extend it out. We don't want to connect it at the corners wherever we go. We just want to keep extending, and we just want to sit 1 row inwards, and we're actually getting very, very close to the top of the Teletubby house. We have just, I believe, 2 more rows after this, but you can see that it's actually starting to get quite squarey, and that is that is why there's only 2 more layers. There's 2 more layers left to this now. So this next bit, we're going to once again 1 row above and 1 row inwards in relation to the top of the Teletubby house. We're going to place a row higher and inside of the previous empty shape, except this time it is going to connect at the corners. That's all that changes. It's just going to connect at the corners like this. You guys will be able to see once I've actually completed it, but I'm sure that you can figure out the instructions anyway. It just simply connects to the corners, at the corners like that. Very, very simple stuff. And you just want to do that 1 more time after this, just 1 more time, and then that is the last part of the dome made. I know, guys, trust me, I don't like that bit either. It's not fun to do, but again, absolutely necessary. So we're just going to finish the top of the dome. We're making sure that it connects on all of the corners, and we'll be left with a pretty confined shape that looks like that. What are we doing next? Well, we're going to take out our lime terracotta. Right at the front of the build, we're going to add an additional layer of lime terracotta just at the front like this, going from left to right. That will, as you might be able to tell, kind of smooth out this shape just a little bit. Now, we're going to make it so that this shape that we have at the top of the build, we're just going to knock into this and make it so that it is equal going all the way around. Basically, you know what, we could have just added 1 block in the bottom corner. Silly me, but you guys get the point. We want a nice even shape going all the way around. We then want to place a layer of light grey wool going all the way around the inside of the top of the shape, once again connecting at the corners, because there is actually an entrance at the top of the Teletubby house, believe it or not. We're not going to leave it open, we're actually going to fill it with glass, but there is an entrance at the top of here, so we want to have that. And then we're going to fill this in with blue stained glass. Like I said, there is kind of like, well, I mean, it's an entrance. It takes you down a slide into the top of the house if you like, but I'm filling this up. You can make the slide if you so choose. So that is what you want to have so far for the dome. The next thing that we are going to do is the windows, because the windows are kind of not that fun to do. So the windows, there's 4 of them. The front 2 pair we'll do first. So come to the front left-hand corner of the dome. So this sort of area right here, yeah? So what we're doing is we are going to knock out these 2 blocks. Like, it's kind of difficult to see, right? But you want to knock out this block and this block on the left-hand side, yeah? And you want to place glass in the place of those blocks. So the empty blocks that you just destroyed, you want to place glass. And then you want to add an additional glass on top of each one of those. Knock out that glass in between the top 2 pair. Place a glass in its place, so like this. So you just want to place a glass above that, now that we have a big nice window. And then we're going to want to knock out the grass blocks, or the lime hardened clay blocks rather, around the window like this. So we want to have this sort of shape right here. It's kind of difficult to explain. So coming outwards diagonally left of the window, we want to place a green terracotta. We want to place 1 on top of it, and then we want to kind of place 2 coming upwards diagonally inwards, if that makes sense. Like 1 here and 1 there. Like, it's hard to explain. And then we want to have 2 diagonals coming down the opposite side, so like here and here. And then we want to have 1 next to the window at the bottom, and then 1 built up. So you kind of want to have this, and then you actually want to meld the window into the actual build itself. So you're kind of going to want to have to add some lime terracotta to the build, just so that the windows don't pop out like that. So you just want to have something which should look like that. So you can see now the window melds very, very naturally to the actual build itself, instead of kind of just sticking out like a sore thumb. Once you've done that on one side, you want to come all the way over to the opposite side, and you want to do the same thing. So on this opposite side here, we're going to take these 2 kind of like corner blocks, and we're going to knock these out. Like, they're like on row number 3, we'll knock out these 2 blocks. And we'll place glass in their place, like this. So 1 here, right, and 1 here. We're going to place a glass on top of them, knock out the green behind it, and then place a glass above that, like this, to form this sort of shape. We then want to knock out all of the lime hardened clay. It's not clay anymore, is it? The lime terracotta. And we want to place green terracotta coming out leftwards diagonally from the bottom glass. We're going to place a green terracotta on top of that. And then it's going to run up the side of the window diagonally like that. And it'll run down the side of the window diagonally also like this. Then all we have to do is simply blend the window into the Teletubbies house using lime terracotta. And there we will have, I'm getting so tongue twisted, I don't know why. There we will have 2 windows. That's the second window on the front. So now that you've got that second window done, you have the front pair of windows complete, and we can now move on to the back. So let's come all the way over to the back left-hand side, and we can work on this second pair of windows. So the back windows are a little bit different. I will grant you guys they are a little bit different indeed. So on the back, you're going to want to first of all knock out this block right here. It should kind of stick out. It's kind of like a block. It's just a single diagonal by itself, right? Well, you're going to want to knock out that block, and you actually want to place a light grey wall directly underneath where that block would have been. You want to knock out the block to the left of it and the right of that, and you want to place light grey where those blocks would have been, like underneath them, like that. So we now have a row of 3 light grey wall. Then we want to knock out the blocks left of that left-hand light grey and right of that right-hand light grey, and we want to place green terracotta in those positions. We want to add a green terracotta on top of each one of those, and then we want to join these 2 rows diagonally in the center. So we'll place a green here, and here, here, and here. Knock out all of the green clay or lime clay in the middle, anywhere that might obstruct any sort of windows, and then we simply want to fill the center of this in using blue stained glass paint, blue stained glass block rather, and this will be in the same shape as the blue glass on the front of the build, like this. And all we have to do is just join the windows to the Teletubbies house, once again using the lime terracotta like this, and they will blend in very, very naturally. Not only do you want to do this to this side, but the opposite side also. So if we come to the opposite side, we will once again find this lime terracotta. It sticks out like a sore thumb, it really does. We'll destroy it, and we'll place a light grey wall underneath it. Knock left and right, place light grey wall underneath those 2 blocks positions, like that. Then we want to knock out the blocks left and right of the light grey and place green terracotta in their place. Extend each terracotta upwards by 1. Connect them diagonally in the middle. That means 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, like that. Destroy every single block in the middle of where the window will be. They're not necessary. And fill the window in using your blue stained glass block in the same way that you did on the front of the build. It's as simple as that, in the same way that you did on the front of the build. We then want to just fill this in with a lime terracotta like this. And that will give you the quite lovely windows. Once you've got that sorted out, the only little thing that we're going to add now is inside. It's easier if you come inside. Inside, underneath the front windows, place some light grey wool. Wherever you have the green terracotta and the blue glass, and place that on the left and right, and that will give you a similar-ish sort of effect that you have on the back. So you can see that we have the light grey, kind of like the metal part of the Teletubby house. So get that sorted out. Once you've done all of that, one of the last components of this is that we are going to give the actual place a door. So grab your cyan terracotta, and inside of the actual entrance, 1 row inside in every sense, so 1 row inside and 1 row inside the green archway, we want to place a row of cyan terracotta that sits directly inside of the archway, if that makes sense. So you can see that 1 row inwards, 1 block inside, we have the terracotta archway. We then want to, behind the cyan terracotta archway, we want to place 3 rows of a light grey wall. Come in behind it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth until you have extended every single cyan terracotta back using your rows of light grey wool. It's as easy as that. Then add another layer of cyan terracotta directly behind the light grey, like this. And then we can take a look at it from the outside. So that's what we kind of want to have. we have to join this together. So we want to join the bottom 2 rows of cyan terracotta together. So we want to place 2 rows of 2 light grey wool coming in from the bottom. That's 1 row of 2 on the left, 1 row of 2 on the right. We'll place an iron door in between. We actually want to place a light grey wall left and right of the door. And we want to place buttons in front. We want to place sea lanterns left and right of the light grey wall. We want to extend up the light grey wall that we have next to the door by 1 row. And place 1 at the very top center. Then place glass in between all of the light grey wall. So we want to have something which should look like that. That's perfectly great. That's literally that's what we're after, guys. That's literally it. So, once you've got that sorted out, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much the structure of the Teletubby house itself complete. We have a couple of things to add, though. There are a couple of things. So, what I would recommend is a speaker box outside of the front door. So, this is made jukebox, cobblestone wall, button. Just right at the entrance, somewhere outside the door, place cobblestone wall, jukebox on top, with a button in front. That acts like a cool speaker to call the Teletubbies. Just left of the entrance, you might want to have a very simple set of Teletubbies. So we'll grab yellow wool, green, blue, red, and we're going to grab item frames, end rods, and then like light grey wool will be fine for this. So let's place a row of them. I can't remember their names exactly off the top of my head, but I'm going to give it a good go. So we have Po, Lala, Tinky Winky, and Dipsy, except I'm going to place them in a different order and I'm going to start from the door. So we're going to have Tinky Winky, we're going to have Dipsy, Lala, Po. Just because I kind of like that order of colours, I know I'm insane. I'm going to place another row on top, so just using your wool, create little Teletubbies. Place end rods on their heads, because of course that is the antenna. We're going to place, well, TVs in their stomachs. We're going to place item frames with light grey wool in them. That was a mistake. In them, like that. And there we have 4 cute little Teletubbies. If you like, you can kind of like use signs for faces, but I kind of like them just very, very basic like that. Next thing, last thing, I might add, that I'll be showing you how to do, is all the way in the back left-hand corner-ish of the house. This doesn't have to be perfectly planned out. We're going to make the big windmill. That uses light grey wool, yellow wool, cyan terracotta. Very simple. We're going to grab all of this. You're going to want to do a row of 17 light grey wool coming up from the ground. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We're going to want to take the 16th, 15th, and 16th blocks, right? And we're going to extend them left and right each by 1. So 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. Basically, the 3 blocks closest to the top that aren't the top. We then want to add a row of light grey wool directly behind what we've just made. So add an additional row of light grey directly behind what we've just made like that. We now want to take every single one of the bottom 5 blocks at the base of the entrance and we want to extend them outwards. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And we want to do that to every single one of the bottom 5 blocks. That's front, back, left, right, all of them extended outwards like this. Every single block outwards. Now, we want to come all the way up to the very top of the windmill. And we are going to want to take this block right here, the one just below the top middle block. We're going to knock this out, right? We're going to place a cyan terracotta inside that block. And I don't know why we've done that, because we just want to place one in front anyway. And I'm so stupid. And then left of this, we want to take out our yellow wool. And we want to place a row of 3 yellow going left. 1, 2, 3. And we want to place a row of 3 yellow going above. 1, 2, 3. And right. 1, 2, 3. And down. 1, 2, 3. We want to take the bottom row of yellow. We want to extend the bottom block to the left by 2. 1, 2. We want to take the left-hand row of yellow. We want to extend it upwards by 2. 1, 2. We want to take the top block of yellow and we want to extend it right by 2. 1, 2. We want to come to the right-hand side and we want to extend it downwards by 2. 1, 2. And then we want to take each one of the 4 parts of the pinwheel and we want to place a block in each one of the 4 corners like this to make the shape look a little bit nicer. And that is that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, is the Teletubby house. Everything else is kind of up for grabs with what you want to do, and everything else takes a really long time to kind of like put together because it's going to take a bit of landscaping. So I'll tell you what, this is the Teletubby house itself. I'm not going to show you how to do the next couple of little bits that you might want to add to make the house nicer. However, I will show you on the original version what you can do if you want to add to your Teletubby house, because the next bit is really simple stuff and it takes a really long time, but it's so easy to see what you might want to add. But that is the actual tutorial portion of this over. Let's hop back to the original and I can show you what it looks like. Alright, here we are. Last two things that you might want to add. They're so simple, guys. So, to the Teletubby house, you might find that you want to add a ring of grass path going all the way around your Teletubby house. This kind of really... Oh, the roof's actually wrong on this version. How funny. Can you see, like, the top of the roof, the top right-hand corner? Yeah, we've got a little bit too much light grey. Doesn't matter. Anyway, the grass path going all the way around the actual Teletubby house, you might want to place that. You might want to place it around the house, creating a ring. It's kind of up to you how big or small the ring wants to be, but make it something like that. It'd look nice. You can even make a path that leads into the entrance that kind of connects everything together. And the last little thing that you might want to add, on each one of the four corners of the Teletubby house, you might have already seen this, add 4 different flowers, or maybe even just 2 different flowers, or 1 different flower. But if you add a patch of flowers on each one of the 4 sides of the house, where the windows are, it will make the house look really nice. It'll add quite a bit of colour and it will just make it look a little bit better. Up to you, whether you want to add it, not necessary at all, but you could absolutely do that. You could even colour code it with the Teletubbies, like you could have yellow flowers, green flowers, blue flowers, and red flowers. I realise there aren't any green flowers, but you could actually use like saplings or something if you wanted to. You don't have to. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Teletubby house. So you might be able to see why I didn't include that particular bit in the tutorial. It's a very long process digging out, well, grass path. It takes quite a long time, and edging it all up and making it look nice does as well. And then all you have to do is, of course, add flowers. I think that you guys will be able to manage that without me, no problem. Hopefully you guys have managed to make the Teletubby house. Hopefully you guys are very happy with it. If you are, please do remember to smack that like button. It really helped me out. It honestly would. If you like the video, I'd really love it if we could hit 1k likes on it. Honestly, I would. It'd be fantastic. I don't know whether we'll manage it. If you do enjoy the video, consider subscribing to the channel. If you subscribe, please click the little bell next to the subscription button. We do all sorts of things like this. Recently, we've been doing loads of cartoon builds, loads of fantasy builds, loads of fun builds. Check out the channel. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Comment down below. Let me know whether you do want to see any more cartoon-related builds, and if so, what do you want to see next? I have loads of suggestions ready for the making, but I'm always looking for more. I've never got enough suggestions. I always want to see what you guys want to see. And please do, if you want to check out the rest of the channel, if you've enjoyed the content, everything so far, please do check out the card system in the description below, and you'll be able to make all sorts of stuff. We don't have a very good selection of stuff around us in this world, because this is my creative world. This is where I build all of my things. But if we were to hop back in the other world, which I'm not going to do, you'd see loads of cartoon houses, suburban houses, modern houses, fantasy house, you name it, you can find it on the channel. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Tubby, bye-bye.